Hey gamer girls, my name is Gunty, your guide to the Slopaverse, and today we have breaking news that everybody knew was going to happen except some delusional fans. Creator Clash 3 is officially cancelled. Looks like the people that took the reins after the johmas had left the game have decided that there was probably really no way to save this event from all their fighters leaving within a reasonable amount of time. But that being said, any kind of donations and funds we're given are going to charity and whatnot. So hopefully that's a good thing if that actually happens. I hope somebody does their due diligence to look into that and make sure that everything is above board there. Yeah, there was really no way to rehabilitate Creator Clash to exist this year for sure. Granted, I think maybe it would have been possible to push it out maybe a year or two and kind of start from the ground up and really just nuke everything, start over. But it seems like they felt like that wasn't worth the effort and that they probably wouldn't get on any return on investment like they would have hoped, and that the name is too tarnished for this to continue, which it probably has. It's been mired in so much controversy for a charity event that I can't think of anything else that has come to mind. To be honest, it was a real shocker that they thought they would be able to get this out after Creator Clash 2 was such a big problem. But to think that they could come back from the controversy of the last one and also mire this one in a new controversy by including, a lot of input on a political topic that is very divisive among people. It's really a coin flip. There's people that have opinions on both sides, and it ranges wildly from person to person, I feel like. As a fan of influencer boxing, I am actually quite sad at the news that we are going to lose one of the avenues for which to watch it. But that being said, it was so poorly run the whole way through after the first Creator Clash. Every subsequent one has clearly gotten worse and worse to the point where the third one doesn't even get off the ground because the people running it are so incompetent to the point where they think that the fighters shouldn't be promoting the event for some reason, which is the created. You can't do boxing without promotion. It is the most key, crucial thing to all of fighting sports, and people have known this for the last 30, 40 years. Even if you were an idiot brainlet that had only experience in fighting sports as watching the Rocky movies, you would know how important and crucial promoting is. And it sucks because it is so exciting and fun to watch creators get out of their element and experience them in a different light. When you see Harley go from the epic mealtime guy to someone who's dressing up like Big Boss from Metal Gear Solid to fight someone, that's so much fun. That's fantastic. Watching Wings and Boogie, I know it was a different promotion, but watching those two get out and fighting was so awesome to watch and so exciting. And the fact that they're bad at boxing makes it even better, I think, for a lot of the creators. Boxing, because you just get to watch two unathletic idiots just throw haymakers at each other for like 3 minutes straight. It's fantastic. And at the end of the day, it's quite obvious who is to blame for the constant failure of Creator Clash since the first event. It is squarely on Ian and Anissa. Even the other fighters that were going to fight in the event all allude to the poorly run nature. And the fact of the matter is, I think that even without the Hassan, Ethan drama, I think this event still probably fails just based on how poorly it seemed they were running things with the trainers and the fighters and where the money was going and who was getting paid what and who was getting flown out to see what. It just seemed like a complete mess, and I honestly don't think that Ian and Anissa were likely to run this event correctly this year anyway. But on top of that, they also decided to get this involved in an entire holy war going on in the Middle East, and that is incredibly volatile and was never going to work. And if I were Ian and Anissa, I would be considering, calling a lawyer, lawyering up, because that's a lot of liability here, and I don't know exactly how it works out, but I would imagine that there are people who have invested in this, that have put time and money into this, and they aren't likely to just kind of let it go. I am not a lawyer, but I'm just speculating that there may be some issues legally for the johmas facing their involvement in basically trashing the event and having it take a total nosedive. But a lot of that comes down to the contracts they signed with their partners, and it doesn't seem like the event partner that they were tied to is run super well, so maybe they did make out like bandits on this one. Only time will tell. That being said, one way I do see the brand being saved is if somebody like a Keemstar or Jake Paul buys out the name and the licensing and all that kind of stuff. I could think they could turn it into something, especially Keemstar, just the magnetic promoter he is. As much as I don't like the little gnome, I think he could do great things with the event, and his connections, I think, would yield a lot better fighters than maybe Idubbbz and Anissa, and would ultimately get a lot more people that, are more interesting than the ones that Ian and Anissa approved of. And especially when it comes to the freak fights, just the lol cow universe of people would probably be pretty interesting to see in the boxing ring, just taking like Only Use Me Blade and having him box Billy the Fridge in the most unathletic exhibition of human sport imaginable. To think of it, it is also kind of odd that they had just recently signed the fighter Peach Jars. I have no idea what that is. I think she's an OnlyFans girl, but she was signed on relatively recently, like I want to say like within the last week or two, to Fighting Creator Clash. I don't know who her opponent was, but she had signed on, so clearly that they were in talks with some people to get them involved, but maybe due to the lack of interest based on, you know, what she put out there, people are kind of dropping out. They might have saw that people weren't really buying tickets after she got involved, and again, I don't really know who would, you know, pay a whole lot of money to go see, you know, OnlyFans events. I guess maybe they're whales, but that's not going to fill a stadium. And it's doubly weird because they like signed her on and they hadn't really, I don't think at that time they had even reserved the venue for which the fights were going to take place. So it just all seems kind of odd the last couple of weeks, maybe that there were just different parts of the company and the organization that were doing different things with the promotion and didn't really know all what was going on, or something came up from the top and basically just, you know, nuked everything out. But again, in closing, I think this was all kind of obvious. We knew this was going to happen. I predicted this weeks, maybe even months ago. I don't even know. This has been such a long saga, especially when you consider it as part of like the Ethan Hassan battle. This has been a war that's been waging for what feels like 6 months now. Yeah, I just looked and I made a video a month ago called Creator Clash 3 is probably canceled, and so it looks like I was right. And there were so many comments on that video, everyone telling me I was dumb or an idiot, and that was even before Ian and Anissa had left the event. And people were like, no, it's going to happen. And just, you know, probably the Frogan Defense Force, all those people there to, you know, defend Hassan till their dying breath and all of his orbiters. But I hope this doesn't dissuade people from getting into the sphere of creator boxing, because I think ultimately if this was a capably run event, or even just like somebody who wasn't a total like glue huffer was running the show, I think this could have turned out great and could have been fun, even with kind of the lackluster card they had. That being said, there was Freddie Wong on the card. This was a real easy thing in my opinion to sell, especially in a smaller arena, which they obviously didn't do because they're idiots, and just really trying to maximize pay-per-views and donations. I think this could have gone really well if it was just in capable hands from the start, but obviously, you know, when people run it this far into the ground, it's kind of unsavable. But what do you guys think? Do you think that it's all on Ian and Anissa? What do you think was kind of the nail in the coffin? I think to me it's pretty obvious, open and shut, but what do you guys think? Do you think that this is all Ethan's Klein's fault? I don't really think so, but anyway, this has been my video. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I am very close to 1,000 subscribers and really want to hit it, and I've been saying that a lot in my recent videos, and I'm sorry if I'm kind of bashing you over the head with it, but I really want to hit that metric, so please consider doing that. You can always subscribe if you feel like you've wasted your subscription and it costs you nothing. Also, if you didn't like this video, very important, say it in every video, make sure you dislike and leave a hate comment. That helps me in the algorithm, and I need to push this video to as many people as possible so I can hit that 1,000 subscribers. And with that, I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.